You call that radio? You call that radio TV? Below. You call that radio TV?
This is You Call That Radio.
You are tuned in to You Call That Radio TV tonight with the Vanities live on the show, talking about their tunes and their career. I'm excited for it. Also tonight we have, well not tonight, tomorrow, Dreams Are Mental. It's the bold Will Sharon, an American author and dream expert. And he's going to be telling us about what the meaning of your dreams are. So if anybody's got any questions or got any mental dreams, we could just tell them. I ask him some questions about what do these mental dreams mean. So leave a comment and we'll ask him tomorrow. On Thursday, where are we? Oh, I've not got Thursday flyer yet. Thursday we've got the Glasgow boys on the show. Friday we've got Scotland versus Wales hip hop edition. So the captain, he's one of the main curators of Boomtown Festival, and recently started doing a thing for about Welsh hip hop. He's writing monthly for a magazine. So it's me versus him. I'll be representing Scotland and picking the best tunes I can, and he'll be picking the best tunes Wales can. And there can only be one winner. It's an absolute honour to welcome on our special guest tonight from the Vanities. Make some noise, round of applause.
You call that radio?
Fucking radio. Here to tell people that we hear you. One God will not allow.
You call that radio.
However you want to say it.
You call that radio?
You call that radio?
However you want to say it, that's kind of part of the fun.
Powered by our patrons.
Brothers and sisters.
Also, the good news is that it looks like we're going to be in Tier 3, which means that we can do the gig next week, obviously, with a virtual audience, you guys. But we'll be doing a live show, live from Capture Works. Let us know who you'd like to see play the gig. It will be on Saturday, the 19th of December, all day streaming over 2 stages. And yeah, want to know who you would book for it. We'll do our best to get them on to the show. And I think that we'll be celebrating 170 shows since lockdown began, which is absolutely mental. I might take a wee break after that. So, we're going to go live to the Vanities. How you doing, man?
Alright, mate, how you doing?
Thanks
for having me on.
Do you know what? I'm having a non-alcoholic beer. I've realised I had one left in the fridge. It's called Jeever Fun. It's not quite as fun as the alcoholic one.
Not quite the same though, is it? It's not quite the same.
Not quite the same, man. How you doing anyway? Are you? What's this year been like for you?
It's not been great for us. I mean, apart from releasing music, not being able to go out and play live, I think it's been the biggest effect on us. Do you know what I mean? That's what we love to do. That's what we excel at. I'd say, we just love being in a room and playing in front of people. But that's not been great.
What in a typical year? How many gigs would you be playing?
We'd aim to do at least once a month, but sometimes there'd be times where we'd have 3 a month. It would all depend really, mate. I think this year we're planning to do a tour and maybe go all over the UK. So that's up shit creek because of COVID. So, aye. But, I mean, just as many venues that will have us.
Our first ever European tour for Gyro Babies. We're ready to go to Europe. After 10 years or something, we were going, right, let's figure it out and do a European tour. And it's just, it's all fucked. But you never know. Maybe next year. Have you getting to use this time to write a bit more? Are you sending each other files and figuring out some new tunes?
Definitely, mate. Aye, there's been quite a few demos and that being flung about. Not straight away, you know what I mean. But we're still in kind of finishing off old stuff. But yeah, quite recently we've been quite productive, I'd say. You know, getting some new stuff recorded and stuff like that. So it's going to be a productive. We're planning for a productive year next year, but we don't want to jinx anything, obviously. But aye. So
Nobody wants to drink it. So everyone's just like, "Oh, I'm glad 2020's over with." Without
I know, mate. I'm not saying that
what's
exactly.
2021 going to be like, man? We're hoping it's going to be better. It's got to be better. Surely it's got to be better. Meanwhile, Brexit has entered the chat. But yeah,
I know exactly.
Petra says evening trips. It's actually Petra who sort of kind of arranged this interview to happen. So shout outs to Petra. You're quiet. I know that I was a bit quiet. I've turned myself up again. Hopefully that's a bit better. We've got Joe in the house. We've got Alan in the house. Hello everyone. Glad you're tuned in. And I think what we're going to do is maybe start with one of your tunes, just for maybe our viewers who are maybe familiar with your music. How would you describe it? What would you describe what it is you do?
Our music?
Yes, how would you describe it?
We play kind of garage punk music, to be honest. I mean, like, with some bubblegum melodies in there as well. But fucking just a bit of everything, mate. Do you know what I mean? So pretty fast-paced punk music is what we're influenced by. You know, Ramones, Misfits, The Clash, that sort of usual suspects.
Brilliant stuff, man. Well, let's let the viewers hear it, and we'll come back and continue the chat after this.
Turn on the TV, and that's all I see is more reality. Reality TV, I'm begging you please. Set my mind at ease, make us start out of me. Or rush up at the least, my brain is feeling numb. And I'm getting dumb, feel like I'm drooling on. Drool all I know these sees, is this you wanna see? Poverty, pornography, it's just the kind of stuff you want to shovel to me. There's nothing right on the left side of your brain, and nothing left on the right. Put it to a public vote. We're staging an anecdote to keep me watching, but I can't go. Seconds of what I see on the TV. Turn it on and it's all I see. Turn on the TV and that's all I see is more reality. Reality TV, vanity, piranity, parade. And I promise on my fame, oh what a special treat. Laugh of a benefit, cheating was watching. The beautiful people, famous the church and money's the steeple. People scrounging, clawing for entry. Elementary television, brain indulging. Candid indulger. Well, it's not my fault if you think that I'm uncultured. Put it to a public vote. We're staging an anecdote to keep me watching, but I can't go. Seconds of what I see on the TV. Turn it on and it's all I see. Kalamazoo on the tube. Is this what they call you solitude? Is this reflective lifestyle TV? Is this the true meaning of reality? Switch it over. Put it to a public vote. We're staging an anecdote to keep me watching, but I can't go. Seconds of what I see on the TV. Turn it on and it's all I see. Is this reality? Reality TV. Turn it off, I don't want to see.
You'll never make it show business. Fucking losers. A lot of you.
You call that radio?
Call that radio.
What back to the people who hated on me.
Right, and then I see the disinfectant that knocks it out in a minute.
That's mad, isn't it?
Is this a Netflix thing?
It's actually a podcast.
What the fuck's a podcast?
You know, it's kind of like a radio show.
Oh, that! Radio!
Yeah.
Just popped in there.
And is there a way we can do something like that?
I couldn't help it.
By injection inside or
Yeah, I think so because I think just painting in general because I think like my poem is in my painting.
No, cut. Amazing stuff, reality TV, and we've got some comments coming in. We've got fresh from Petra. Not bad.
I don't even recognise that guy in it. I don't even recognise the guy at fucking peroxide in my hair. Different colour now.
And Alan says not bad at all. Danny says evening to a damn fine tune. Reality, no, it's reality TV. And how's where can people find that out? Is it, are you on Spotify, or are they better supporting it in Bandcamp, or what's the script?
You name it, mate. You name it. Spotify, YouTube, anything.
Yeah.
Anything at all, mate. We're on everything. Yellow Pages. Fucking. That's like that's sort of what we kind of used to sound like with our first EP, but this new one's kind of like a bit of a different sound we're going in. Still fast, but.
Do you think that's just because you're when you're so involved in the live environment, you're just kind of inspired by seeing live stuff? So now that you're in the house, you're maybe just in a different environment when you're coming up with the ideas.
That could be it, mate. The essence of all our tunes are pop songs. I mean, like, a lot of people might be revolted by the sound of that, especially if you want to play in a punk band, but, like, at the end of the day, slow on an acoustic guitar, we want them to be catchy pop songs, you know what I mean? And then you speed it up, and then you get loaded and fucking play as fast as you want. But at the essence of it, I want it to be a pop song. Sorry, can I swear in this, by the way? I've been swearing. I hope that's alright. That's alright, then. Past the watershed. Right,
Mate,
no.
We've been doing this since we've offended everybody since March.
Oh, that's alright then.
So anyone who's easily offended has fucked off long ago. So
Aye, that's alright, mate. Aye, so, but we're writing a lot of poppy stuff, do you know what I mean? Like, we have big love for like girl group stuff and ronettes and doo-wop, so that's finding its way into our music. But yeah, I mean.
So how does the songs all come together? Obviously things are a bit different now with the fact that it's harder to meet up, but in general, who brings the song, the ideas together? Is it a team effort?
Well, a lot of the time I'll write demos and I'll bring it into the band and then they'll be fleshed out. But Robin, my guitar player and singer, he's got a couple songs as well. He's wrote some songs that he's brought in. So I mean, it's just, if it's written and it's a great song, it'll get played. Do you know what I mean? And if it's shite, we'll can it.
And who would you say that you like playing alongside? Say tomorrow, we're back into Tier Zero. Would Tier Zero mean it was over? I think so. Tier Zero, we'll call it Tier Zero anyway. Things are back to normal. You can party again. Who would be on your dream lineup? What venue would you book, and what bands would you have on that bill?
I mean, we'd want to play a big one, like maybe a larger capacity venue like Stereo, or we like Tuts as well. Ideally, I'd like to play alongside some of our friends, you know what I mean? Like Moonrunners are probably one of our favourite bands, cutting about Scotland. They're sort of like a two-piece sort of garage band who are tremendous, so everyone should check out Moonrunners. Our mates Fiends as well, who are off on Nuts, so they're always a good laugh to have in the bill. And maybe like do a co-headliner or something with obviously Gallus, who have got on the show later on. We're good pals with Gallus as well. So just anyone that want to play with us.
Party, man. Sounds like a party. Yeah, Gallus are on the show on Thursday as well.
Yeah, they're good lads.
We've got Dang Pop Punk is the best. Dang Pop Punk is the best, says Petra. And Alan has subscribed to you on Spotify and YouTube.
Cheers, my man. Cheers.
And Petra says, Joe Jive loves the doo-wop. Yeah, that's a good shout. If you're into girl band music from some of that classic stuff from the 60s, 70s, maybe even 50s, I think some of it, then check out Joe Jive and the Beehive 5, which we've had on our channel. Yep, that's a good shout, Petra. So with them, we'll talk about a wee bit more about the live side of things. So I've got a video lined up from the Priory, and obviously the Priory is such an important part of the scene. What's your memories of the Priory?
I mean, like, I think, you know, everyone's explored every avenue describing the Priory, but it's the closest thing we have to CBGB's in New York. You know what I mean? It's like sort of this sort of underground pub where everyone drinks and everyone hangs about, and it's a sort of community, and bands that probably couldn't get booked anywhere else would play there. Or being slick, it was just about an atmosphere, and people could kind of go let loose and listen to punk music again, you know what I mean? And a lot of younger people were starting to come to Priory and get involved, and there was a sort of revival, which is always good. But, you know, shout out to Joe Cage, you know what I mean? It's like his bars basically shaped the full Glasgow music scene.
Absolutely, and it's a bar that's sadly missed, and I'm sure if you were having your dream gig that we just spoke about there, that would be no doubt where the after party was at.
Oh, aye, definitely. Always Priory after party, Club Sabbath, Johnny Madden, Baby Strange, best club night on the planet.
We're going to play a little clip for people who don't know about the Priory. This is one of your live gigs. Can you set the scene for us? When was this recorded and what was going on?
So this was recorded in January last year, and we sold it out over capacity to about 140 folk we crammed into there, and we had to turn an extra 30 people away at the door because we couldn't let any more in. So we were really buzzing about that, but yeah, it was mental. It was absolutely crazy. And as I was saying earlier, it's not about sound, so well, we're not going to be critiqued on this, but it was a riot.
and peace that can only come from the one God be upon you. We are here to tell the people that we hear you. One God will not allow us as people of conscience to lose our morale.
Powered by our patrons. Absolutely brilliant, man. To be there right now.
I know, mate,
missing
of course.
That live music vibe. And who is it that filmed that? Was that John
That's
McKinley?
no, it's my good friend Daniel Blake, Danny V. He was taking photos of us that night, and he just was able to catch our last song because it was just so mental, and he just got a video and he was like, mate, I fucking got a video of your last tune. It's crazy, man.
Amazing stuff. So when was that?
January last year.
Last January, aye, man. So when what's been the journey been like? You said that you've played stereo and touch. So did you kind of build up to an EP launch at stereo, or what was the score?
No, we've not. We did an EP launch in the Priory, but I mean, we're saving a big EP launch for this next EP. That's going to be our big EP, and we can't do it just yet. So we've postponed our kind of EP, but our next EP is going to be out summer next year, called "Your Kids Are Gonna Love It," and it's basically our favourite we've done so far. So we're hopefully planning that by the time that's out, we're allowed to gig again and we can book a big fuck off massive gig. Do you know what I mean? So
the new EP's already finished. Is it done? Is
yep.
it recorded?
Well, I mean, like there's a few tracks that are still to kind of be tarted up. Do you know what I mean? And mixed. And
who's mixing?
Oh, Chris Marshall, Johnny Madden, Seven West Studios, Jamie Holmes as well. That's the place where you'll hear most of Glasgow punk bands. You know, Jerry Cinnamon stuff is done by Chris. So yeah, he'll be slicking them up.
Absolutely, man. And so we've got that's going to be released in the summer. How are you finding so while there is no live music, how do you keep in contact with your fans, and how do you keep people waiting for it? You know, keep that interest going.
Well, we done a couple quarantine covers in isolation, recorded all the separate parts, and we've done Be My Baby and Basket Case by Green Day, and they both went viral in South America apparently. So we've got a new Brazilian, Mexican, Argentinian, etc. fan base apparently.
Right stuff. We've got Alan says looks like a great night. Petra wants to be there. We've got Mark McInnes in the house. A Facebook user says looks like a right Petri dish that. I miss such ceiling touching times.
Yeah, man.
Facebook user, you need to give permission to StreamYard so that I can see it, because we're streaming live to YouTube, Periscope, and the Facebook group tonight. So if you do that, if you are on Facebook, give permission to StreamYard so we can see your comments. Now, I know that there's a chance that we're battling against a battery tonight, so I think we're good to get the. I don't want to leave that too late in the conversation so that we try and go live to you doing a song and then just cuts out. So
well, it's been an alright segue because this one's going to be on the new EP. So.
Oh wow! Couldn't they fucking write it? Okay, you go for it, man.
Yeah.
Take it away. What's this song about? Yeah, because you can't hear me once you start. So yeah, tell us about the song. It's got the new EP, which is I love the name for it. You kids are going to love it.
Yeah, man, Back to the Future. So this song's called I'd Rather Die, open bracket, than have a job in a tie, close bracket. And I think the title's pretty self-explanatory. I'd rather die than have a job in a tie. So yeah, without further ado, I'll just put that for you right now.
Take it away.
The promise of and the queue is great. Well, every day needs a holiday. Is it Monday or a Saturday? Well, I don't know. I've been taking it slow. Well, I don't know. When I'm going to go. I don't drive it. I live my life. What about a side that's nearby? Well, I'd rather die traumatized. The grass always green on the other side. Get to your workstation, you're the future of this nation. All the temptations, sleep and masturbation. How it goes on, well, I don't know. Where I'm going to go. I don't drive it. I live my life. What about a side that's nearby? Well, I'd rather die traumatized. The grass always green on the other side. I don't drive it. I live my life. I'd rather die. A traumatized, the grass always greener on the other side. I don't drive it. I live my life. What about a side that's nearby? Well, I'd rather die a traumatized. The grass always green on the other side. Is the grass always green on the other side? Is the grass always green on the other side? Thank you. That was another day.
You call that radio, radio, radio. More like a TV show, TV show, TV show. On almost every night, every night, every night. It's gonna be streaming live, streaming live, streaming live. You call that radio, radio, radio. More like a TV show, TV show, TV show. On almost every night, every night, every night. It's gonna be streaming live, streaming live, streaming live. You call that
What? Absolutely brilliant stuff. We just seen the Vanities be absolutely brilliant from the new EP out in.
Well,
summer.
we don't know, but maybe roughly.
We don't know.
Roughly, mate. We're going to try.
Is that what you? So it's interesting how different people have been kind of dealing with the fact. What do you do? Do you just hold on and wait until the live gigs come back? So it's interesting that you're doing that just because obviously you've decided that there's no much point in having an EP if you can't do a big sweaty launch for it.
Of course, I mean that's what it's all about. Do you know what I mean? So we're going to try.
Was that a conversation though that you had to really think about?
I mean, yeah. I mean, we talked to our label as well, and the PR women and stuff, and it was sort of like, we'll just drop a few singles from it, lengthen it out, big it up, and then hopefully by the time summer or whatever comes around, that we can play it live. Do you know what I mean? So
Yeah.
I mean, I think it's just the norm to be able to do a big launch for your EP, especially because it's a collection of songs. It's like a record. Do you know what I mean? It's not just you're dropping a single. You can do that next week if we want. But so aye.
So there's that's coming up next. So I'm just going to a shout out to all the. Why do a quick shout out to all the patrons who support this show, because we're going to do a wee raffle as well. We're trying to do a raffle every night this week. So if shouts to it's that one. Shouts to all the patrons. We'll do it tonight. We're giving away a couple of books from nipnebs.com. Our supplying. You might have seen Susie on the show last night. She's going to sign a couple of books, and we'll be doing a wee raffle and a wee bit for that. So what I'm just going to do is a random number generator. In fact, you know what? You could just pick a number. Could you pick a number between 100 from 1 and 179?
7.
Number 7. Okay. I'm going to look that up onto our Patreon to see who number 7 is.
That's my lucky number.
And is that your lucky number? What does it mean to you? What does the number 7 mean?
Lucky 7, mate. Lucky 7. It's just
Henrik Larsson.
Aye, right, mate.
We've got this.
No chance.
We've got the Patreon just coming up just now. It's the lucky number 7. And sorry, just give me a second. The computer's gone a bit slow. So while I'm just bringing that up, this is going to be to win the books from. I should have it on the screen. Yeah, nipnebs.com, who's writing amazing books, including. I think these books are the novels for kids written in Scots. It's kind of like books about Scots and adventure and sharing, as I understand, is the moral of the story. And I'll just bring up the winner in a little second. So just if you are a patron, you are in the hat. You're the seventh last person to sign up. So I'll figure that out in a little second. When it comes to writing, man, are you writing all the lyrics?
Well, anything that I write a tune of. I mean, Robin has a couple songs that he plays, but the majority of the songs that we're playing right now, I've written the songs and I've written the lyrics for. Yeah.
And then how's that process come to you? Do you write about a specific thing when you've got the music already done, or are you just scribbling randomly at times and hope that it'll turn into something eventually?
I'm scribbling randomly at times, not to turn into something eventually, but all of my songs start off with melody, so it'll just be me fucking about, and then I'll think of a catchy nursery rhyme in my head, and then I'll find a big scrapbook of lyrics that I've got and see if anything fits around that. It's quite rare that I'd sit down and with a guitar and write the lyrics as I'm playing the guitar. I can't really write that way. I can't really force myself to sit down and write. Do you know what I mean? If you force it, it'll sound contrived, I think.
And is there any who's your favourite lyricist?
Oh, that's a hard one. Joe Strummer, Elvis Costello, Billy Bragg, Bob Dylan. You know what I mean? Elvis Presley, but he didn't really write any of his own lyrics. But you know what I mean? It's just all that sort of stuff. The classic lyricists, Tom Waits, Pete Doherty.
That's a dream team. That's a dream team right there.
But, I'd say, verbally, that Irvin Welsh, the author's probably more of an influence than a lot of songwriters. I think Irvin Welsh's books, because Irvin Welsh always had this thing where he'd write about failures in all of his books. He'd write stories about fuck ups and nobodies, because you can't learn anything for success, which I always thought was a cool way of putting it. So a lot of my songs revolve around what people might think quite morbid or dark subjects, but it's more interesting, isn't it, than somebody that's successful.
Absolutely. Well, I'd just like to actually ask you about, when you mentioned Pete Doherty there, I understand that the Libertines were bigging you up. What's the story with that?
So the Libertines were doing a sort of, I don't know what it is, like a live stream, like a gig live stream, and they were doing all sorts of stuff, and all four of them on like a FaceTime Zoom call or whatever, and they were like picking videos of up and coming bands, and I couldn't catch it. But Libertines are one of our favourite bands and our biggest influences. Do you know what I mean? And all of a sudden, I got a mail for Gary for Revel Music, and he just mailed me saying, "Hey, did you just fucking hear that you were on the Libertines stream?" I was like, "What?" And he was like, "Aye, mate, they played Adolescence at the Priory. That video that you played earlier today. It's like, aye, you were on the Lib stream." I was like, "Fuck off, fuck right off." And then I was calling all cars, and we sent out all the social media, just kind of like, here, if anyone that happens to have a video of the Libertines shouting us out, then send me it so I can go into the fetal position. And then, as fate would have it, mate, somebody sent it. Oh, Gary found someone that's had it, and he sent it to me. And my God, man, do you know what I mean? Like, they're one of the reasons that I started a band, and then to have them shout you out or even know who you are is sort of makes it all worth it, isn't it?
That's brilliant stuff, man. We've actually had a couple of episodes regarding the Libertines before, from the people who sort of signed the Libertines and sort of discovered, inverted commas, Libertines and stuff, and it's an incredible story. And then we had Robin Evans on, of course, who was telling the story about how The View kind of got picked up by the Libertines, and it was just as simple as throwing a CD on the tour bus, and they just came out, and then they got The View to jump on in the middle of a Libertines stadium performance, and that was the start of The View as well.
It was a simpler time of the guitar band, where you could just hand a CD to another band and then be on a major label within a week, eh?
Well, nowadays, nobody. I mean, what would happen? You just don't see CDs about as much anyway. People are just kind of like they don't want to touch a CD. It's like, guys, get that away from me. Especially now. That was before COVID.
Aye,
but I think you got a lot of DJs. I remember DJs were probably the first people to really dislike getting handed CDs all the time, because they're just getting so many of them all the time. So it made a lot more sense to just send them, a digital press pack or something like that, rather than having. But what about myself, man? Do you still use CDs, or do you still have a yearning for the physical product? Like, I'm assuming you'd want to bring out a vinyl.
Aye, so funnily enough, we're probably going to be trying to bring a vinyl out of our EP, a limited edition kind of thing. We're still in talks with the record producers that are going to do that, but it'd be amazing to have your own like songs on wax. Do you know what I mean? Because like, I've got a big vinyl collection. I still love vinyl, and I've got some CDs as well. But it's sad. I think that the physical version of music's dying out, because it was sort of this whole thing where you had a record and you could have it and hold it and see it and feel it as you're listening to it. Do you know what I mean? That you owned it. And I feel a bit of a disconnection from music if it's getting streamed, but that's the way it is.
And I think that also the problem with it is when you've invested money in a physical thing and you can hold it, you are going to listen to it multiple times and look at it, and we are all guilty of just wanting that instant response to an album. When usually the best tunes were the ones that it took you a few listens to figure out.
Yeah, exactly. And like back then, when they used to put lyric sheets inside the sleeves, you could like listen to the album and read lyrics. Particularly, you need that if you're listening to a Clash record, because these people were like listening to London Calling and going, "Oh, that's a tune" or whatever, and then you do the lyrics because you can't understand a fucking word Joe Strummer says. But then you read these lyrics and you're like, "Oh my God, these are some of the best lyrics I've ever read in my entire life."
Absolutely. And you're talking about Bob Dylan earlier on. He's in the news this week. He's just sold his entire back catalogue for $300 million.
Aye, I mean, like, he can do what he fucking wants now, doesn't he? I mean, like, he's as important to songwriting as a hammer and nail is to a carpenter. I went to see Bob Dylan last summer. It was just for bragging rights, because I think it's well documented that he's not the best sounding live. I mean, because he's so psycho about never playing the same like way of playing a song, so he wants to change it up to the point where he changes it up way too much. So you'd be sitting there in the middle of Hyde Park in London, and he'd be playing like a Rolling Stone, and you'd sound nothing like it for 2 minutes into the song. You'd be 2 minutes into the song, and then you'd hear, and then you, and then the whole crowd would go, "Hey, I fucking know this one." It take you like 2 minutes, man. It's just honestly.
It's
But
a,
I mean,
it's a, it's a bit of a hit and miss way of doing it, but I suppose it's trying to give people value for money of having that new experience every time.
aye, but being able to see just Bob Dylan in the flesh play like a Rolling Stones sort of like ultimate bragging rights because he's one of the icons, isn't he? But aye,
So
Bob
I just
Dylan's
decided that. I mean, I don't know what the thinking behind it was. Maybe that. I mean, he's obviously the money. There's probably worth a lot more money. But I think he just wanted to take the money. I suppose it means that his family don't need to worry about the fucking record thing. He'll just give them a cut, and then
aye,
that's
so
it.
would that mean that he has to pay music every time he plays? Would that mean he has to pay royalties every time he plays his own music? Then?
No, I think it would have cut a deal so that he doesn't have to pay royalties. I think.
Well,
but
that's
it
what
means
that's what Paul McCartney needs to do.
Well, was that not? Did he not sell his music to Michael Jackson or something?
Aye,
So he had to pay Michael Jackson every time he wanted to do.
He dug his own grave. Like he gave Michael Jackson advice, and he was like, "Tell you what, mate, what you need to get into is publishing. You need to buy the rights to the song." And he's like, "I'm gonna buy yours."
Yeah, and it was back then. That was way before. I think it was early 90s or something. So that was before, obviously, anyone could have even predicted internet streaming or
exactly.
Even computer games. I mean, computer games didn't really have music in those days either. So there's all those things. So it's probably a silly idea to give it away. But at the same time, it's like you're Bob Dylan. Who gives a fuck? You've got 300 million. Divide it up amongst your friends and family, and you're sorted. And then you don't need to worry about it.
I'm sure he's not selling it for the money. That's for sure.
Yeah, but I mean, it's not about the money. But although the one thing that I know that a few hardcore Bob Dylan fans are not happy about is that now a record company owns the song, so expect Bob Dylan songs on The Voice or on car adverts and stuff like that. So technically it's selling out, but at the same time it's his right to retire, I suppose, with 300 million.
Exactly. I mean,
he doesn't need to worry about it anymore. Doesn't need to worry about the rights and legal wranglings. He's just got a check, and maybe he's just looking at this going, the music industry looks fucked. I want my money. Got to cash in my chips, and I'm off.
I know, mate. Exactly. I mean, he doesn't really need. He doesn't need money at all.
He doesn't need to do it. He does what he wants. He's Bob Dylan. So Aria says, I hope I'm number 7. Right, we've just done the raffle. Number 7, and I'm actually going to bring this up on the screen because you're only going to believe who number 7 is. So this is the last 7 Patreons who signed up. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. It's Alan Bissett. An author has won the books. So congratulations to
Is
Alan
it Alan Alan, how many L's?
It's Alan with he's just got 1 L, I think.
Yeah, 1 L for 1 L of a guy. That's how to do it, mate.
All right, okay, got it. He's 1 hell of a guy. He is 1 hell of a guy. Alan Bissett's got his own novella out this month called Lazy Susan on speculative books, so check that out as well. And how's the best way to support what it is you guys are doing?
Just listen to us, man. Just fucking listen to us. Like, listen to us through a wall, through a window, man. Just go on our Spotify. Keep up to date with us. Follow us on Spotify. Follow us on Instagram, like Facebook. You know what I mean? Just so you'll be up to date if we're ever going to do a gig, and just come see us, man. Because nobody buys records anymore, and the only way to make money is to play live, and we can't play live now. So just, I don't know.
Just run up those Spotify plays.
Yeah.
Go and do that.
Aye, run up those streams, man. Just, send us fan mail.
And brilliant, we've got a sort of fantastical from Danny. Shouts to Danny. I'm going to end with that cover that you mentioned, Be My Baby. Absolute class tune. And this must have been, was this sort of early on was this right in hardcore lockdown territory when everybody was just...
This was the first tier 4. This was like March, and I shaved my head, so you'll notice that. But yeah, so this was really early in lockdown, and we had to stay productive. So what better way to do it than sing the Ronettes?
Brilliant stuff, mate. Thank you very much.
Thank you,
good luck
mate.
with the EP. I hope to be there at this EP launch.
I know, mate. I hope to see you there, man.
In this real world with real live music, it sounds excellent. This is Be My Baby, the Isolation cover. We might get chucked off for copyright after that. We'll find it. Cheers, man.
Cheers.
The night we met, I needed you so, and And if I had the chance, I'd never let you go. So won't you say you love me? I'll make you so proud of me. We'll make them cemeteries everywhere we go. So won't you please be my little baby? Say you'll be my darling. Be my baby now. Whoa. I'll make you happy, baby. Just wait and see. For every kiss you give me, I'll give you 3. Oh, since the day I saw you, I have been waiting for you. You know that I will adore you till eternity. So won't you please be my little baby? Say you'll be my darling. Be my baby now. Whoa. Be my little baby. Say you'll be my darling. Be my baby now. Be my little baby. Say you'll be my darling. Be my baby now.
Amazing stuff from the Vanities. That Be My Baby. Yeah, amazing stuff. Want to shout outs to Alan Bissett, who did win the books. The books are based on, it's like a children's adventure book, and it's written in Scots, so it's encouraging the kids to speak in Scots. We need more of that stuff. If you didn't win it, I think, Iria, you didn't win it, but you wanted to win it, then you can still just treat yourself or treat a loved one or any of your friends who've got kids. Go to nipnebs.com and you will find the books there. And if you want to hear more about the books, then tune in to last night's show, which was the Christmas market. It was a good wee show. We gave away a psychedelic guitar. We gave away that. We gave away a skateboard. Sophie's delighted with that. And there's going to be a raffle, hopefully a raffle every night in December, if we can make it work. Definitely going to be tomorrow. We're going to give away Jennifer, Beat the World's Dreamcatcher tomorrow night on Dreams Are Mental. We will, Sharon. Dreams Are Mental, episode 1. We're going to make that a regular feature on You Call That Radio TV. And then on Thursday, we've got the Gallus Boys in, another indie rock punk band doing great stuff just now. So we'll be getting them on the show on Thursday, and Friday we've got the big Scotland versus Wales hip hop edition, where the best we've got Captain Barrett from Boomtown Festival. He's going to be playing the best hip hop from Wales. I'll be playing the best hip hop from Scotland, and there can only be one winner. Petra says, top chat with Alan. Area says she'll buy it for sure. Like, good stuff. My Byron Mansilla worked with Bob Dylan 3 years ago. Oh, brilliant stuff, baby doll. That sounds like a name drop to me.
The name drop.
You call that radio?
And on that bombshell, check out the Vanities on Spotify. Great band, doing great things. Looking forward to their EP next month, and I'll see you tomorrow for the Dreams Are Mental episode. Buzzing for that, man. I'm buzzing for that. I want to know what your weird dreams are. So please tune in tomorrow. If you get any weird dreams you would like him to analyse or any questions about dreaming or sleeping, then he's your man. He's an expert, absolute expert in the world of dreams. And that's it, guys. Thank you for tuning in, and I'll see you tomorrow.
You call that radio, more like a TV show, TV show, TV show. On almost every night, every night, every night. It's gonna be streaming live, streaming live, streaming live. You call that radio, more like a TV show, TV show, TV show. On almost every night, every night, every night.